Hi, good evening, and welcome to the second in the series of webinars. And we are hoping that we'll have a lot more. This series of webinars take off on the book that I recently published called From Sofa to 5K. The purpose of the book is to encourage everyone, a non-runner, a sedentary individual, to run the 5 kilometer distance. The the book has been endorsed very well, and it has been receiving rave reviews. Even runners, though the book is basically targeted at non-runners, even runners who have read it have told me that they have picked up a lot of good points that they had somehow ignored in all the running that they did. Either learning through a coach or learning on their own. In this particular webinar, we will touch upon why run 5K. And basically, if you take the title, it is in two parts: why run, and then 5K. So we'll look at both the parts separately. And if you are online and if there are any questions to ask, feel free. There is a chat window open. You can start typing, and I can start responding to the chat as we go along. But coming back to the topic, why run 5K? Let's take upon why run. So basically, the human body was designed to move. We were never designed to be seated. We have muscles, we have bones, we have cartilage, we have everything that are like livers and forces that have all been designed to move. We were never supposed to be sedentary. We were never designed to be seated in one place. But unfortunately, uh, while we have been designed to move, we also have this hedonistic trait within us to not exercise and to avoid work. So, over a period of time, with so many inventions that have happened, we have made life very comfortable. So, comfortable means not working. So, we have for everything, I remember the time when my mother used to make the masala on the stone. We have a mixie now. We used to grind idli batter on the stone. We have a blender grinder for that. So, for every single activity, we have discovered electricity, motor, and now computers and keyboards and smartphones. And what you end up doing is that you end up not moving. So basically, most of us, and it's happening across all professions. At one time, certain professions they were always on their feet and working, but now even those professions have become sedentary professions, and everyone is becoming an office worker. Everyone is sedentary. Everyone is seated the whole time on a chair and looking at a computer and working something, typing something on a keyboard. Be it a dentist, be it a chartered accountant, be it a lawyer. I mean, everybody's doing the same thing. So basically, we have become sedentary, and the human body was not designed to be sedentary. Now, sedentary brings with it various risk factors. We'll go into all those risk factors of a sedentary lifestyle in due course of time in subsequent webinars. But the worst thing that sedentary does is that it makes your body very it makes your body assume a posture that was never designed to assume. So, for example, you have the typical neck forward posture, which is very common, and because of that, we get cervical. Our shoulders are hunched, so we get a lumbar issue, and so on and so forth. So, between being sedentary and standing up, which is between seating and standing up, definitely standing up is better because and now that's becoming a rage. For example, I myself have a tabletop laptop table which I can put on top of my normal table, keep the laptop on top of it, and I can stand and work on the laptop. So it is believed that if you stand for some time during the day, it is far better because you burn more energy. So standing is definitely better than sitting. Walking is better than standing. So when you're standing, you're just in one place and you're not doing that much. So you're walking, and that is good. Most doctors will say morning walk ke le jao, go for a morning walk, and that's very healthy. And there are many people. You'll go to parks, you'll go to joggers, you'll go to Marine Drive in Bombay, or you'll go to all the places that people go to when they want a morning exercise, and you'll find 4 or 5 people together, all walking together and all talking with each other. The ladies are gossiping about their maids, and the men are complaining about their businesses, and that's their morning exercise for them, which is definitely better than being sedentary or just standing, maybe in a shop, just standing in a shop, which is definitely better. So walking is definitely better. It's a good form of exercise. It helps you to go out, etc. But if you will notice that there are many people who are morning walkers, regular morning walkers, and and there, if you took their blood test, their lipid, their fat, their sugar, they are no better off than the sedentary individual. Okay, morning walk is good. I'm not saying it's not good, but does it give you the intended benefits of a good exercise? The answer is unfortunately no. I know of many people who have been going for morning walks for the last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, regularly every day morning, 1 hour walk, half an hour walk, whatever, but have suffered everything like a sedentary individual. And they have nothing to show for it. I mean, it's not as if their health is better, their lipids are lesser, their heart rate risk is lower, their diabetes is under control, or anything like that. But why does this happen? Why does walking not give you the benefits of running? The reason is that even when you're walking, there is no intensity. And for the body to really repair itself and the body to really uh, grow stronger, grow better, consume more calories, digest that fat, lower that sugar, you have to give it some exercise intensity. You have to make it work. And that work, that exercise intensity, that mehnat, that can happen only if you run. If you do not run, then you're not giving it the intensity that it requires to build itself and become better. So that is the biggest reason why we advocate running. Why running is advocated by anybody, and why there's a running boom. Why is there no walking boom? Why is there a running boom? Why is there so much of an industry around running and not around walking? Why are there more of running events and there are hardly any walking events? That is because running gives you far better benefits than walking. Okay, so somebody, people often ask this question: ki, what is the difference between walking and running? Okay, so, and there are people who walk faster than there are some people who run. So it's not just the pace, it's not just the speed at which you walk. When you walk, the primary difference is that at least one leg is in touch with the ground all the time. What it means is that unless you step off and move with the other leg, so one leg does not uh, come down until the other leg is also in contact with the ground. So let me put it differently. When you're walking, one leg is always in touch. When the front leg touches the ground, then your rear leg comes up. Then the rear leg goes up and in the stance ways and hits the ground, then your other leg comes up. So one leg is always in touch with the ground. Your body is never airborne. There is no point of time when both your feet are in the air. And that is what running does. In running, you are actually kicking your entire body weight up and landing it down. You're kicking it up and landing it down. You're kicking it up and landing it down in a continuously forward moving manner. So basically what you're doing when you're running is that it's like jumping, but while crisscrossing your legs. So that is the basic motion. You're jumping in the air and crisscrossing your legs. And that gives you more intensity. It makes your heart work harder. It makes your blood circulate more. It makes your lungs breathe in more air. It sends blood to all parts of the working muscles, the legs, the back, the hands, all parts of the body get more blood, more toxins are removed out, and the entire body cleanses itself and does all the beautiful things that exercise is supposed to do. And we will talk about that in a later webinar episode. So basically that is the difference between running and walking. In running, both your feet are in the air. What is the difference between running, jogging, and sprinting? Okay, so uh, running, jogging, and sprinting are all biomechanically the same, which means that at some point of time, both your feet are in the air. A person is supposed to go for a jog. You don't say you jogged a half marathon. I mean, and if you told a runner that, you would feel very, very peeved that you use the word jogging. So basically, a person who jogs is somebody who just goes out, does a very easy run, and comes back. He's not training. He's not trying to achieve something. He's not training for a distance or for a time or for a pace or for an event. He has no goal for his exercise effort. He's very happy just going out, thoda bhaga, met somebody, chatted with him, came back. So that's a very easy jog. He went in the park, did this. But the minute you say, let me do 5 rounds, let me take part in this event, let me see if I can do 5 rounds within 25 minutes, or some kind of a time constraint, then you're slowly becoming from a morning jogger to a runner, because now you're investing in your training effort. You want to improve and you want to become better. So a jogger is somebody who's like an entered apprentice, like a basic entrant into the sport, and a runner is someone who has much more intensity than a jogger. A sprinter is somebody who runs very fast. Okay, so normally sprinting is done for shorter distances. 100-meter sprint, 200-meter sprint, up to about 2 kilometers is considered sprinting distance. 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer. After that, it is considered longer distance. They are endurance activities, and they are known as aerobic activities. Again, more on aerobic and anaerobic on a subsequent episode. But basically, a guy who sprints all out. So the sprinter is a guy like Carl Lewis. Thick muscles, huge body, bulky, fires off. Very explosive movements. A runner, on the other hand, has a very smooth, easy, easy movement, and he runs for longer distances: 2 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, half marathon, full marathon, whatever. So that is the difference between walking, running, jogging, and sprinting, which are terms that are often used interchangeably. Coming to the last point is that why 5K? Why not, so far to 5K? Why not so far to 6K? Why not so far to 10K? You know, there's a reason, and most programs all over the world advocate running a 5 kilometer. Man walks at an average speed of 4 kilometers an hour. If he walks briskly, it is about 6 kilometers an hour. If he runs, it is about 8 kilometers, 9 kilometers an hour. I'm talking of an average sedentary individual. I'm not talking of those Kenyans who run like crazy. I'm talking of an average person like me who runs. Okay, so that is the average pace. So therefore, if you take these paces, then a person who's running about 8 kilometers an hour would take about 40 minutes to run 5 kilometers. Okay, that would be the kind of golden mean. Somebody can be slower than that, and there will be many who will be faster than that. If you are in training, you will run faster. If you have less weight, you will run faster. If you are younger, you will run faster. A male will run faster than a female. So given all these differences, it is about 8, and it's like a golden mean. And so this. So the idea is that you should run for about 40 minutes, which will be about 5 kilometers at an average speed of about 8 kilometers an hour. And then first 10 minutes you should use for warm-up, stretches, etc. And last 10 minutes you should use for cool-down stretches. So that way in the morning you spend 1 hour on exercising, which is very beneficial. So we believe that if you run 5K 2 or 3 times a week, 5 kilometers 2 or 3 times a week, you are getting all the benefits that you can get out of leading a very healthy lifestyle. It is not necessary to run more distances. I mean, let me put it this way. Somewhere between 5K and 10K is the average distance which will give the maximum health benefits. If you run more longer distances, it doesn't mean that you're actually going to become even more healthier. Because after this, the risk of injury becomes more. You are training more intensively, you are training for a longer period of time, and there are very good chances that you'll get injured because of overtraining. I run a half marathon every month, but that is after a long period of training. Okay. And there are many people who run 42K, which is a full marathon, or even 100K and 200K. And there are races that they call ultra marathons. We'll not go into that. We are very happy if we can run 5 kilometers 2 or 3 times a week, subject to our work pressure and all that, and be healthy, be fit, reap all the benefits of running. And what are the benefits of running? Yes, we will touch that. That will be the next webinar. We will touch upon what are the 7, 8 key reasons why you should run and what are the benefits you get out of running. So that's basically, I covered what we wanted to cover today, which is basically why run 5K. So why run, and what is running, and how is it different from walking, and why that 5 kilometer distance. I mean, why not? Why? What is the magic of the 5K? The 5K is, we are in the phase of life where we want maximum benefits with least amount of work. So we are always looking for, jaldi, less work, etc. So that comes into exercise also, unfortunately. So the idea is that if you do a 5K distance 2 or 3 times a week, with the amount of time that is spent, you get the maximum amount of benefits from a health and from a exercise perspective. So that concludes my webinar for today, which is what, why run 5K. So I don't know if there are anybody to chat here. So we will conclude this session, and I thank you very much. It will be available online on YouTube, and once it goes up, and we will also put the link to the book which you can buy from our shop. So if you buy online, you can click. It will be couriered to you by the same day. Typically, same day we courier it. Within a day or two, you'll get it. And this is the book that we want every runner to, gift to his non-running friends who he desires should take up running. This is the book that every runner must also buy for himself, because there are still many things that you may not know about running. You may have not learned running in a very proper way, and there are many new things that this book. The book is a very easy read, and it's priced very nicely. So basically, it reflects the value that you put on your health. So thank you very much for patiently listening to me, and hope to see you again in the next webinar, which will be typically every Tuesday. We try to have our webinars in the evenings. Thank you very much. Bye.